Before he disappeared, he said, "The water it sings." And this song it wants me. In the summer of 2003, 27-year-old fisherman Edward Lawson sent his final voice message to his sister. An hour later, his boat was found empty on Lake Moraine. The water was still, like glass, no body, no ripple. It wasn't the first disappearance, but it was the one that launched an official investigation marked anomaly underwater sound resonance. Archived materials confirm that since 1967, locals have reported strange sounds coming from beneath the lake's surface. They described it as a smooth music, like an organ in an underwater cathedral. At first, scientists assumed it was caused by rock shifts or geothermal activity, but geologists never confirmed a natural origin. The sound appeared every few years, always at night, and always followed by someone or something vanishing. In 1978, 2 teenagers in a canoe went missing. Witnesses say they were paddling toward a sound that was pulling them in. Left behind, a single paddle and a tape recorder. On the tape, 48 seconds of deep resonating tone, like an ancient choir holding a single note. Then silence, then a splash. Investigators were never able to identify the sound. No artificial method could replicate it. It was called the Moraine Song. In 2003, the sound returned, and Edward wasn't the only one to hear it. A tourist couple, Sarah and John, recorded part of it on video. At first, they're laughing, casting their lines. Then John's face changes. He stares into the distance. The sound is faint, but the water in the lake's center visibly vibrates, forming rings. As the video ends, the couple is in the boat, drifting into the fog. Police found Sarah and John's boat the next morning. It was docked by itself. Inside, personal belongings, camera, food. Everything was untouched, except them. No signs of struggle. Their bodies were never found. After this, the park was shut down. The lake became officially restricted. But in 2014, a retired man, William Kane, gave an interview to a local paper. He said, "I heard that sound back in 1965. It calls your name." William recalled he was just a teenager then, fishing alone. Around 2 a.m., he heard something, a melody. It wasn't scary, it was mesmerizing. He paddled toward it, but something in his mind made him stop. That's when he saw eyes beneath the water, yellow, motionless. They didn't blink. They were listening to me breathe. 2 days later, his cat vanished. Then the neighbor's dog. All nearby waters turned dead, no fish at all. Acoustic experts analyzed recordings of the Moraine Song. One of them, Dr. Howard Ellis, compared its sound spectrum to that of a massive vocal organ. His conclusion? This sound was not created by man, machine, or nature. Its source is unknown. But it is alive. After making this statement, Dr. Ellis disappeared during a trip to Canada. His body was never found, but his car was parked by another lake. In 2023, a young blogger set out to capture the Moraine Song himself. He spent the night by the lake recording. At 3:27 a.m., he woke up to a voice whispering through water. His camera caught a silhouette moving in the lake, something massive stirring beneath the surface. By morning, the blogger was unharmed, but completely deaf. He said, "It wasn't music, it was a voice. And I heard it. Today, Lake Moraine is marked on maps as close to the public, but the sound is heard more frequently each year. Even people 10 kilometers away have recorded it. The disappearances continue, though they are never officially linked to the lake. But those who've heard the song all say the same thing. It knows your name, and it won't finish the song until you become part of it. All recordings of the Moraine song are kept in a sealed archive, but one leaked online last week. And here's the most terrifying part. The sound wave aligned with a recent disappearance, a fisherman from another state. And in the background of the tape, it says your name. The archive file is open. Will you listen until the end? But this is only one of the stories that was never meant to be recorded. One of the archivists working with the Moraine song materials disappeared a month before he was supposed to deliver a new case. On his desk, there was only one sheet of paper left. On it, the coordinates of another place, and beneath them, a short phrase written in a trembling hand. There, the water doesn't sing, it screams. Archive File 27. The Swamps Scream, the next story. Year 2003. Jeremy Wells, a 24-year-old biologist and avid fisherman, arrived at Moraine Lake to record underwater fauna sounds for a scientific project. The lake was considered lifeless, no fish, no movement, abandoned since the 60s. But he captured something else entirely, a low-frequency sound that, in his words, you don't just hear, you feel it through your skin. 2 days later, Jeremy vanished. His boat was found capsized near the northern shore. Inside, a recorder with the final audio. In the background, splashing water, faint rustling, and a strange melody, reminiscent of a whale song, but with a mechanical resonance. Experts compared it to the hum of tectonic plates, but the sound was too pure, as if it was being broadcast by an intelligence. The recording was studied by scientists, the military, even NASA, but no system could locate the sound's origin. Legends of the lake melody began to spread in local pubs. People claimed that the water glowed at night, and those who heard the melody couldn't sleep. Some reported seeing bubbles rising from the bottom, as if the lake was breathing. 0 years later, summer 2023, Thomas Bennett, a 38-year-old documentarian and creator of the channel Myth and Water, arrives at Moraine Lake in search of material for a series about abandoned bodies of water. He discovers an old missing person report. Jeremy Wells. Something about the case won't let him go. He decides to spend the night by the lake to capture nighttime footage. Mistake no. 1. During the night, his camera starts picking up low-frequency vibrations, identical to those in Wells' recording. Then, signal loss. Thomas wakes up at 3:17 a.m. Everything around him is too quiet. Even the forest is silent. And then he sees it. In the center of the lake, just below the surface, someone or something is circling, eyes yellow, phosphorescent. The depth is responding to him. Thomas drops everything and runs to his car, but it won't start. His phone, no signal. He hides in the boat, just like Jeremy once did. In a recording he makes on his voice recorder, he keeps repeating the phrase, "It's not water, it's not sound." It wants me to listen. His voice becomes more and more shaky. And then, silence. The boat is later found empty. 3 days after Thomas disappeared, local police began a search. They found his tent, equipment, and voice recorder. On the last tape, only the sound of deep, low pulsations, and then something like the splash of an enormous tail. The sound frequencies once again perfectly matched those Jeremy recorded 20 years earlier. Experts investigated the lake. No anomalies were detected. But at a depth of 83 meters, the sensors registered unknown movement, something large yet untraceable. The lake was officially labeled unsafe for visitation after sunset, but locals believe the case was simply buried. All of Thomas's equipment was confiscated and stored in the Colorado State Archives. On one of his cameras, the final frame, the lake at night, the footage slightly shaking, and, just beneath the dark surface, those same yellow eyes flickering, staring straight into the lens. Jeremy Wells' case was never officially closed. Thomas Bennett's case was reclassified as disappearance under unexplained circumstances. Moraine Lake is no longer marked on tourist maps, but from time to time in quiet corners of Colorado, someone hears a low hum and doesn't come back